This video will show 2 examples of 12-mark model answers with exam techniques required. They will be highlighted. 12 markers appear in both paper 1 and paper 2, so it is important you know how to answer them well. This video will be very helpful to watch prior to your exams and tests, so you become even more familiar of what is required to score maximum marks for your 12 markers. These 12-mark answers both come from the exam board website, and there is a lot to be learnt from them, including the use of the key term that must be in your 12-mark conclusion. It depends on. There are resources for you in the description box. There's a revision checklist and a formula sheet. Do check out these videos. I will put the link to them in the description box. And if you do find this video useful, then please do like, share and subscribe. I do post regularly. Our first 12 marker. Using your knowledge of business, evaluate the importance of function within GoPro's design mix. 12 marks. GoPro is an American public limited company which manufactures action cameras that are used in extreme activities such as rock climbing, surfing and base jumping. Since its stock market flotation in 2004, the company has grown rapidly and has become a leading extreme sports brand. GoPro's sales revenue has increased every year since the company started. However, in 2016, GoPro's sales dropped significantly and the company made a loss of $160 million. This led to the company's share price falling to a record low of $8.54. To try and increase sales, GoPro launched 3 new products. New products were waterproof and allowed smoother video recording. One of these products was the GoPro Karma, a new drone that takes aerial action shots. In 2017, GoPro decided to raise finance to invest in its new product range. This was because cheaper competitors were entering the market, such as a Chinese company, Xiaomi. On to a 12-mark answer. We can see that where there is application to the case study, that is highlighted in red and the link strands are in green. GoPro's helmet and drone-based cameras are very high quality since they both waterproof and shockproof. This is to be expected after very large amounts of capital had been invested in the products. This would suggest that the function element of the design mix is important in the action camera market that GoPro operate in. The function element of the design mix is critical to the success of the GoPro camera range. This is because the ability for the consumer to record their successes whilst undertaking a range of extreme sports such as base jumping will be highly important, since it is unlikely that the consumer will do that particular trick or activity again, in precisely the same way ever again. Therefore, the consumer needs to rely on a camera and its image stabilization software to capture the activity precisely so that the end user can show the video to friends and family or post a video on YouTube. Therefore, the ability of the camera to operate or function well in an extreme sports environment is a primary USP of the camera. This USP allows GoPro to differentiate its cameras from cheaper competitors such as Xiaomi. As a result, GoPro can now charge a premium for its technology-based products, which allows the company to generate higher profit margins on the sale of each drone-based image recorder. If the company can maintain sales despite the premium charge, it should be able to generate higher profits to support the company's falling share price. Let's take a look at the evaluation. However, with new competitors such as Xiaomi entering the market is becoming more competitive. These new competitors are able to produce similar cameras to that of GoPro at a much lower price. This has caused GoPro to lose market share and profitability, causing the share price to fall to $8.54. Therefore, perhaps the critical element within the design mix is changing, and now cost is becoming a much more important factor relative to function. With lower average total costs, a camera manufacturer can charge lower prices, and if the function element of the design mix is reasonably comparable, the consumer will enjoy better value for money. Therefore, GoPro should not make as many sales as the market becomes less niche and starts to attract the occasional sports enthusiast in a broader market. On to the conclusion. To conclude, the degree to which function is important in the design mix ultimately depends on the way the market for lifestyle cameras is changing. If the market widens into more of a mass market with occasional users of action cameras, purchasing consumers will become more heavily focused on price. Therefore, cost should become a much more important element within the design mix. This will be reinforced if lower price competitors such as Xiaomi continue to enter the market. As long as these new competitors have a product which is reasonably comparable to that of GoPro in terms of quality, but at a much lower price, GoPro will be forced to increasingly focus on cost, and function will decline in importance. This answer scored 12 out of 12. On to the next one. Our second 12 marker. Evaluate whether Whitworth Brothers Limited should have changed its business objective to growth. You should use information provided, as well as your knowledge of business. 12 marks. During 2020, demand for home baking goods such as flour and sugar doubled. In the first 4 weeks of March, demand for plain flour increased by 92% in UK supermarkets. Sainsbury's, the UK supermarket chain, reported that its Worcester store was selling out of 1.5 kg bags of plain flour within hours of a delivery arriving from suppliers. The store then had empty shelves until the next delivery arrived several days later. A spokesperson on behalf of the flour milling industry stated that UK flour mills are working round the clock, milling flour 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to double their production to meet the demand. Plain flour is produced in flour mills which use a flow production process. The company is thinking of purchasing £10 million of new machinery that will allow it to produce more 1.5 kg bags of plain flour at a faster speed. The company believes that this part of the flour market has the potential to keep growing. During 2020, the demand for home baking goods had almost doubled. This is likely to be behind Whitworth Brothers' decisions to focus on growth as a business objective. A change in market conditions has seen a 92% increase in the demand for plain flour from supermarkets such as Sainsbury's in a very short space of time due to the popularity of home baking. Therefore, Whitworth Brothers have an opportunity to take advantage of this change in market conditions by being able to meet the significant increase in supermarket demand. This could give the company higher revenues, which may lead to higher levels of profit. If Whitworth Brothers can improve its ability to produce 1.5 kg bags of flour quickly, it also will be able to build stronger relationships with supermarkets. This may give the company an advantage over its competitors, since with the empty supermarket shelves, it appears that all flour millers are struggling to meet the demand for smaller bags of flour. Therefore, the growing home baking market segment provides an opportunity for the company to gain a competitive advantage over its rivals. However, to focus on growth, Whitworth Brothers will have to spend an extra £10 million on new machinery for its flour mills. This will add to fixed costs and may also reduce cash flow in the short term. The home baking market segment also accounts for 4% of the company's revenues, but even with a 92% increase in demand, it would still represent a small proportion of the company's revenues. There is also a risk that the popularity of home baking may fall in the future, leaving Whitworth Brothers with expensive flow production machinery that it cannot fully use due to falling demand. On to the conclusion. In conclusion, the company may be taking a significant risk in changing its objective to growth. Currently, its main markets sell bulk flour to food manufacturers and restaurants, accounts for 96% of the company's revenue. To focus on growth may require cash outflows for new machinery that could damage net cash flow and increase the risk of insolvency. It also depends on whether the potential for increased revenue from selling smaller 1.5 kg bags to supermarkets will occur for a long period of time, and whether it is worth the investment of £10 million in the short term. This answer scored a 12 out of 12 as well. Thank you for watching this video. The next two videos that will appear on the screen are what YouTube thinks you should watch next.